How do I begin with HC SVNT DRACONES? Honestly, I don't really know where to start. The lore? Well, in the future, there are furries, and not just any kind of furries. They are called vectors, and they are pretty much just genetically modified personas that come in every size of the rainbow. Want to play a tiny furry? You can. Want to play a weird hybrid furry? You can. Lever stance cat velociraptor? Hell yeah, you can. Or maybe you just want to play a fucking animal. Maybe you want to play a Tor, or a regular furry, or whatever the fuck this thing is. Or maybe you just want to play your robot persona. They actually have those. You're also effectively sworn to the corporations, which also own everything in this cyberpunk dystopia. 108 of the 346 pages of this book are dedicated solely to explaining you the lore, but somehow I came out of it more confused than anything. Okay, maybe we're getting off track. We gotta start with the system, but to do that, I need to actually explain to you what a character looks like. First, every character has three main stats: mind, body, and community. But those aren't actually important. The split between your ability to exert or perceive in those stats are what's actually important. You also have a small set of proficiencies, which act as a flat bonus to checks, effectively acting as your skills. The core system can also be described as a 1dx plus 1dx system. For example, let's say I need to jump over a pit. Check would actually be written as body exert athletics 3. Now you maybe think you need just to hit a 3 or roll the number of successes equal to 3, but you're very wrong. This leads to actually to the difficulty system. Using that example I just said, let's say my body exert is 3. Since I match, I'm going to roll 1d8 plus 1d8, attempting to beat a 12. But let's say my body exert is only 2. I'll be rolling d6 plus d8 versus 12. If my body exert is somehow 4, I'll be rolling d8 plus d10 versus 12. I'll also be able to add any of my proficiencies to this score as well, because all basic checks are actually just verse 12. Opposed checks operate on somewhat of the same logic, but acting as one another's counterforce. So if I'm 1 above, that means you are 1 below. Simple, right? Well, you also have properties which augment the roll of rolling above or below 5. Simplification and complication, increasing or decreasing the difficulty, while +1s are applied directly to dice, similar to how rerolls are. And God help you if the roll is actually just risky or you're working with boons or faults which augment your proficiencies instead. And that does bring me to focus and readiness. Each character is going to have a collection of focus and readiness can be used as +1s in various situations, for focus for non-combat and readiness for combat. And did I also mention this entire thing is played on a grid with very rigid combat mechanics due to its nature, with very different body type characters taking up different numbers of spaces. Because combat is actually a very deadly experience due to the endurance wound system, as your endurance is the amount of punishment you can take before taking a wound. So if my endurance is 10, taking 20 damage is actually just taking 2 wounds. But wait, each combatant also gets 3 actions with weapons that can do upwards of 15 damage consistently, and it uses the same goddamn system. But how do we keep track of everything actually? Well, everything you gain is actually on a goddamn XP chart. You start with 210 XP, and each section of the chart costs its base value. So if I want to increase my mind exert by 1, it'll cost me 10, but the options soon become mutually exclusive, and rest assured, each does do something. Oh god, I haven't even talked about reclamation surgeries, have I? Or the quirks that are like perks and notoriety. Oh god, I can't just go, that's a completely different system. What about the item lists which are unique to each corporation? Oh Jesus. The reference sheet for this game is 4 pages, guys. 4 fucking pages in like a 6-point font. Want my honest to god opinion on HSD? Well, I don't care for this game. You want to know why I don't care for it? Because this is a 346 page book that feels like a 900 page book. The artwork also unlocks a primal part of my mind that wants to live as my ancestors and hunt animals for sport to prove my strength to my tribe. This game was a bulky in the worst kind of ways, which is to say a lot because there's a lot of stuff in this held together by a Byzantine system and even with stranger way of increasing your power. And I am not lying when I say there is a rule for everything, or at least an explanation or some kind of technique power-up thing you can do to buy. This is one of the most well-realized science fiction settings I've actually ever read, simply due to the amount of work going into justify every single aspect. And it's all fucking furries! I am mystified and horrified by this game, not because it's simple but on system, but for just how far they chose to stretch this poor game. And the XP table. Guys, look at the fucking chart. Oh my, come on. I'm tired, kings. I'm tired. My name is Notepad, and this was HC SVNT DRACONES 2nd edition. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Many thanks to the plutocrats as always. God help us all.